So we're basically the third week in February right now, and you know, we had the ice storm here in the hill country, so we've been cleaning up trees on the property. It's been cold. Again, we just do a little bit at a time, but we had our friend and buddy Jordan Endsley come over, and he helped me get the bed onto the frame. And so I've got it kind of mocked up. Everybody can kind of see what is going to happen. There's a lot of work to be done still, but so the bed has like a pro stock rear end, and the lights that'll go into those slots are right there. That's the e-brake cable that's got to get routed through the firewall down by the transmission shaft and to the back. But here's the wood in the bed. This isn't set. We had to stain the wood. What I did is I took boiled linseed oil with oil-based Thompson's water seal using a teak color. Now, you can't buy oil-based Thompson water seal anymore, but we found 4 gallons of it, 5 gallons of it at a local hardware store that was on sale for 20 bucks a gallon. That's dirt cheap. It's like 50 bucks a gallon when it was new, but they don't make it anymore because of, you know, some kind of EPA regulation or something of that nature. But there's a lot of work to be done here, all right? So what you're looking at is every one of those little bulb head fasteners got to be installed. Now the wood is held down to the rails that are across the frame right there with some grade 8 bolts. That'll get replaced with some bolts that I had to have specially modified. But then these two pieces of stainless right here, right there and right there, I got to take those and put those over. You can see the holes in the that little blue lower drip rail, and what's going to happen is the holes that are in there will marry up to the holes that are there, and so I'll cut that in strips. Now this strip was made so if you didn't have tubs, but this has been tubbed for bigger tires, and so I'll have to cut them off right there at the back of the tub. I'll do something. I'll use the centerpiece maybe, but I'll have to put a few fasteners inside the tub to hold that down. But you know, this is where we're at within the doing the bed. And just to give an idea of kind of have this mocked up. So here's the rear fender, and I'll kind of walk around to the front here going on the other side. So that's the rear fender in place on the driver's side. There's not one here on the passenger side. So every one of those holes has a fastener, and those fasteners are these flathead custom stainless bolts that go through there. We haven't done anything in the cab, or again, Texas storm, but I did get some insulation. Scavenger that I am, that's some aircraft insulation because I'm in the aerospace industry. And then let me come around the lift. Haven't done anything here, guys. This will all come together, but this kind of gives an idea of what it's going to look like. And there's the running board just set up there in place. And that is where we're at on today is February 23rd, 2023. So it kind of gives you an idea. Every little thing, you know, you staining the wood, that's a day. You know, this was just a couple hours to put all the fasteners in there and get it mocked up. But when I go to put all those fasteners in there for permanently and then get all these holes drilled that are not drilled, that's going to be a couple days worth of work. So there's a lot to be done. There was a small mistake that was made right there by the previous owner of the bed and cab kit that I bought, and that's what this stainless steel piece right here will help cover up. So when I take and put the bolt into that hole with that stainless steel piece on top, And then that'll all get covered up. So we're not worried about too much. Again, we're not going show quality. I mean, when I'm going by at 60 miles an hour, it'll look show. You're gonna have to catch up to me and say, oh, you gotta run in the paint, or you're missing a fastener there. And a lot of you folks have been saying to me through comments, hey, why are those fasteners so long going through the firewall into the holding the steering column in place? And the answer is that I didn't have anything shorter. And I have bought like $100 worth of stainless fasteners that I can use here and there and stuff. You know, one of the tricks here is that down here inside this fender well, you can kind of see that I got all these holes that I got to fill. And if anybody wanted to know what a fender washer is, there's one right there. That's why they call it a fender washer. Because look at the size of the holes that are in the fender, and that's the washer that gives a lot of leeway for when you're putting this fender up in there, what it's going to look like. But here's kind of an idea of what happens between the bed frame and the wood that's in there. This is what you have to do. There's holes in that U-shaped bracket all the way across. That's where the fasteners go. And then where there is not a U-shaped bracket, the fasteners just kind of act as a clamping feature between the wood and the stainless steel rub strip that's on the bed that gives it that decorative look. There's a ton of rubber that has to go on this truck. And so in between the fender and the bed is going to be a rubber strip. And that rubber strip looks like this. And so it's got to all be cut and modified. So this is the rubber strip that's going to go between the fender and the bed. So that's all going to have to be holes punched in it, kerf cut, you know, some assembly required. But basically all these parts are ready to start bolting on, you know, as we get to them and stuff. No big rush. I was rushing, but, you know, nature has dealt us a few blows as far as storms and cold weather, and you know, who wants to work in that stuff? I'm waiting for nice sunny days. Anyways, that's where we're at. Was happy to kind of see. It's always good to see where you're going to end up, you know, and that's what putting the fender on with the running board, and we've already had the front fender on, so kind of get an idea. You know, we had the seats in the last video, so that's where we're at, folks. Appreciate you watching, and like and subscribe, comment. I'll answer any comments. I get notified when there's one there. So anyways, take care.